Yeah.
10, weight control, weight control, weight.
Yeah.
So fat is an inflammatory source. It will make arthritic pain worse. It will make the mechanical loads on the joint greater. And there's work showing that extra weight carriage asks the joint to do a lot more and push them out of their comfort zone. So weight is a bad one. Number 9.
For me, I spend a lot of time on your Facebook. I try and watch as many of your lives as I can, which is really sad. You're going to think I'm a stalker now. Your website is absolutely incredible. The people that you work with are absolutely amazing. So for me, it's really simple. I would have your website bookmarked and I would follow your account because you just said it. The information is there and it's free. And these guys have got a passion for it. These mirrored. These guys, no, that way. These guys have got a passion for it, and they really want to help you. So jump on there because all the information, and it's fascinating. You'll be like, oh my god, yes, my dog does that. Now, how can I help it? And they will show you how to help it.
Yeah, which it takes me back.
There's lots of out there for stuff. There's lots of people out there trying to make money, and you cut through all of that and say, well, evidence says no, evidence says yes. So yeah, just follow these guys. Wrong way. These guys.
She's still doing it. Number 8, I went back to my core today. So I was doing a house visit and looking after someone's dog, and I did what I did right at the beginning, where I actually photoed around their house, and I was looking at it as a point of view of a dog. And there was a step about that deep that the dog obviously struggled, a little bit of whiplash every time he tried to get down it, and hobbled and catch his toes. And to the owner, it was innocuous. It was a step that big. It had a nice piece of shiny wood on top because it had been so tread upon, an old oak beam. And there was a solid floor, which was slightly slippery, that they landed onto. And, when you think about it, actually, that's like me jumping down from my thigh level onto a slippery floor when I've got problems knowing where my legs are, how strong will they be, can they cope? Look at your house with fresh eyes. I seriously will stick my neck out. I think it's as powerful as a non-steroidal. I think it is as powerful as anti-inflammatory, but putting these lifestyle changes in place, because we don't think about how we live. They're not designed for dogs. So steps, baby gates, think about it.
I'm jumping in and out of the boot of the car, over the course of 10 years, and you take your dog for a walk twice a day, jumping out of the car twice a day and then making them sit at the back of the car to jump from a sitting still up into the boot. All of that adds up. You just think about that slightly differently and you'll make a huge step. I mean, I was guilty of it as a police dog handler. Our dogs jumped out of the van 20 times in a night, and then you would bring them back to the back of the car and put them in the sit and make them jump from a standing sit into the back of the van. I don't do that now. I don't do that. No, it's storing stuff up.
It is. Is that your number 7? Or are you going to give me another number?
Number 7, get your dog into scent games. I came under a little bit of stick recently because I took Finn on a scent course. He loves using his brain. He loves using his nose. He can't run at 30 miles an hour anymore, but he wants a job. So we got him into scent games, and they're really easy to do. There's a ton. Maybe you and I can sit and write a program and get that out for free to our listeners and your listeners. But it's really easy to do. There's lots of information out there how you can quickly get your dog searching for catnip, and you can make the search to their physical abilities. So it doesn't have to be up the mountain and down the other side. It can be just around the house, just to get your dog up and moving, and try and keep that core strength going, and all the while using this, and they'll happily go, oh, I'm knackered.
Yeah, I love it. And that's exactly the same as number 6 for me. So at lady's house, she actually left me alone to do my thing. So I immediately went into a recycling bin and pulled out a load of plastic, like washed out soup pots and mange tout tray, smeared it with peanut butter, and that kept the lovely dog busy whilst I was doing some massage and some manipulation and bits and bobs. And it was just, the dog went from being, oh, I'm not really sure, to, oh, this is quite nice, I'm quite enjoying this. Lots of good movement, lots of good posture. You've got things that are free in your house. You don't have to spend large amounts of money. Okay, number 5.
Oh God. Number 5. Oh gosh, here we go. I had one and I've lost it. What did I do? What did I think about it? I mean, swimming is fantastic for dogs. Absolutely incredible. Really does keep that core strength. And obviously it's really low impact. So any exercise that you can find that's good for the muscles but low impact. Obviously this time of year it's difficult to go wild swimming because you certainly don't want to be putting an arthritic dog in freezing cold water. But there's nothing to say that you need to wait for the dog to get to 10 years old and start to really struggle before you get them into hydro and stuff like that. So
it's about getting to habit again, isn't it? It's about us having fitness in our life throughout of our life rather than waiting until we need to do it.
There's these wonderful sort of splash pools that pop up at dog agility parks every summer, and they are fantastic. However, don't let your dog go nuts and jump from the edge of the pool and storing up, stuff in the back. If you can ease them in and then get them to swim around nicely, your dog will have the best exercise. Get in there with them because you'll build an incredible bond. Finn and I have gone swimming in some crazy places together, and he loves it. He loves nothing more, and it's literally like hill work in the pool. He's right next to me. He's happy as Larry, and it's the best exercise.
I love that. Talking about swimming, I've committed myself to something stupid. So guys, the lovely Laura Eldridge, who has so far raised £4,000, is doing her final sea swim this Saturday in Felixstowe, and I'm going to go and join her to say, well done, chick, I'm here. I know, and it's bikini type.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. So we're hopefully going to do that on Saturday, and I just really want to showcase what Laura's done. She's absolutely a stunner. For me, it's a real simple one. We tend to put loads of blankies and fleecies and knitwear and crochet and toys in their bed because it looks nice. No, do it, because I see it all the time. These dogs, especially when they're quite debilitated, and when they're starting to have quite a lot of proprioceptive deficits and weakness in their back end, those feet get caught up in these pieces of material. So when they go from having a sleep and they try and stand up and everything's stiff anyway and nothing's woken up and the foot's trapped, you're twisting this soft tissue. You're making them, they're going to fail. They're going to trip. They're going to fall on their face. They're going to take and land in a poor posture. They're going to create harm. Less is more. Less is more. Think about it. And if people really are worried about their dogs getting cold, this is just how I managed it. I'm not saying it's the only way. I invested in a back on track coat for my dog. There are alternatives. And it was a insulated kind of mesh coat, which fit her quite well. So she could get up without her feet ever being trapped in anything. So do think about all these fleecy stuff that I see. Number 3.
Yourself a good animal behaviorist, one that's into these little low impact games. So when you're training a dog, you've really got to latch onto their natural desires. And yes, chase is one of them, but you don't have to stand in the corner of a field and throw a ball 20 times. You can get really creative with their games. Hannah's already talked about it. The simple high five, getting that stretch is really important. And it's stuff that you can do literally in front of you, and the dog hasn't gone very far, but they're still absolutely shattered. There's lots of stuff online. There's lots of behaviorists that give information away for free. So, look to diminish that really hardcore exercise and just find mind tricks and mind games.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because most people are very accepting now of socialization groups and puppy classes, and you hard push to find somebody that wasn't exposed to the 4 to 6 week puppy course when you first get it. You need to kind of make the junior and the adult, and for it to be normal that people, it's not a choice. It's, I know it is a choice, but it's just so expected. It's like the UK, is it the good citizen dog or something? We should just make it just normal so that no one likes it or opts out of it.
Well, absolutely. And just touching on that point about puppy socialization, as you know, Hannah, socialization just a few years ago meant stick a bunch of puppies in a pen and let them beat each other up until they're knackered and then go home. And then we wonder why we have reactive dogs that are also storing up injuries. But socialization these days, puppy socialization means show the puppy the world. And obviously, if they're young and you're not dragging them through town, you might carry them through town and show them. So let them see all this stimulus and show them that it's nothing to be worried or excited or overstimulated about. And then you almost want a dog that's like, meh, there's another dog, meh, there's another person. Mum, Dad, what are you going to ask me to do now? That's what you want. You don't want a dog that thinks, I see a dog. When I was a puppy, that meant bundle. So that's what it means now. Why? I'm on a lead. Why won't you let? And then you have people ring me and say, my dog's really aggressive towards other dogs. No, it isn't. It's just when it was a pup, you taught it to be a lunatic, and it still wants to be a lunatic, and you won't let it because it's on a lead. So socialization means so much more than just letting your dog meet every other dog.
I love that one. I love that one. And that leads into my final one, number 2, is that behavior and training is so linked with canine arthritis, management musculoskeletal disease. And I watched a dog as I was sat in the traffic lights today, and it was a young spaniel, and he was in a harness, and he'd seen a dog on the other side of the road, and he was just going forward, and he was pulling through the harness, and the front legs were here, they weren't even on the ground, and the owner was just kind of giggling to himself, a bit embarrassed. You know how some people, when they're embarrassed, they kind of giggle their way through. And you just really want people to kind of go, don't wait till it's a problem, address it quicker, because it's not just a behavioral problem getting worse, it's going to be a physical problem getting worse. All those stresses and strains that you're putting through that physical being when they're really aroused, they're not going to give a crap what their back legs are doing. They can twist, go everywhere. They're so engaged. So yes, attend to your behavioral problems early, attend to your musculoskeletal problems. They are closely interconnected. Number 1, it's got to be a biggie. It's got to be a biggie.
Well, yes, it is a biggie, and I really hope that we, as part of Thin Blue Paw and Cam, that maybe we can change. You got the wrong side. We can get not only pet owners but people who work dogs to do this as well. So for me, it's about enjoy your dog. Definitely enjoy your dog. So of an evening when you're sat there relaxing, find yourself a physio, find yourself a good physio that's prepared to teach you the basics. So of an evening when you're sat there in front of the fire, when the dog is nice and warm, or you get yourself a nice hot water bottle, not hot water bottle, warm hot water bottle to put on the dog, and just be really relaxed with them and do some of these basic physio things to try and undo some of those knots and some of those things, some of the avoidable things that we just can't help, and just try and help them undo it so that they can. Wouldn't we love it if our dogs could live to 15, 16, 17, 18? I know I would.